Hi guys, we're here on Faz Radio. We're here.
Thursday fun day.
Blur's day for Mr. Titan. See all that blur?
Yes. I rearranged and it's messy, so I blurred it. They don't need to see my terrible looking studio at the moment till I get it looking better.
Because he switches around like every week. So
I have to.
We have a few different things here. What is your thing says? Videtur critico?
Yep.
You can explain that, sir?
It's words, duh.
Is it Latin?
It is.
What kind of Latin?
What kind of Latin? Not pig Latin. It means
Titan
think
Latin.
critically.
Did you just put that tweet up?
I did not.
We're not ready for that tweet, Miss Producer. Thank you.
She's just clicking. Click, click, click.
We are going to talk about it, though, just not yet.
Producers producing.
We got to warm up to that.
Hey,
here, next time I'll
LA
pop this
Tool
up.
Man.
There.
Hopefully we won't have any of those. We had enough of those last week. We don't need any more of those technical difficulties.
We do have a logo here, so let me put the Nerd Node logo up here because we still are being supported by Nerd Node at the moment.
And we're going to talk about issues
and things and stuff.
I know, Zorro. We're all ready for that Twitter too, but we're going to dovetail gracefully right on into that because this week was a hot one with Gary Gensler getting his ass handed to him up on Congressional Hill.
That was rather entertaining. He looked pretty nervous.
He was visibly shaking. That's not good. Hey,
well, you know, he's been skipping those. He's been sending his lieutenants to that stuff, and he's been skipping those a lot. So this is the first time he's shown up in like memory, hasn't he?
Well, it's been a while, and he didn't handle those questions very well. And they purposely pointed yes/no questions at him, and of course he's never going to do that. And that made it worse. And then when they cornered him a few times with some magically delicious questions that really...
Oh, yeah. My favorite answer is we don't speak to OneCoin, and yet the guy's like, but you'll speak to Bitcoin. Why won't you speak to Ethereum?
Yeah, you've already he said you've already spoken about OneCoin. Don't tell me that. Yeah. That was
shit, dude.
That was fantastic. So he's in a very precarious position, right? I mean, I get it. He can't really talk about XRP. It's still an active suit. So I'll give him the excuse for that.
He can't actually talk about Ethereum because that's wrapped up in the XRP case also.
How? Stop eating crackers and talk.
I was eating carrots, sir.
Whatever, Bugs
I was eating
Bunny.
carrots. Fiber, good for you. He was talking about the Ripple case specifically mentions Ethereum and Ethereum's status and things that the SEC has said about Ethereum, but the SEC has contradicted themselves multiple times on Ethereum. And so him to talk about Ethereum would mess with that case. He should just say that there's pending litigation or something, but he can't.
Because that implicates that he's going to sue ETH next.
No.
Oh, I have it on here? No, I don't have it. Maybe.
Because he can't say, with Ethereum, because of the way the SEC has talked in the Ripple case, he can't say yes or no that Ethereum is a security because the SEC has said both in that case, and he'd open himself up to attacks, justifiable attacks, no matter what he said. If he said yes or no, you could easily say, but you said in the Ripple case this, because they both asserted that Ethereum was a security and that it wasn't at the same time in the Ripple case. And I'll say that they weren't straightforward about it. They're like, at one point they're like, well, in the Ripple case regarding Ethereum, that was this person's opinion. What's his name? Hinman's opinion. And then later he says, well, his opinion doesn't matter because the SEC department that he works for had a different opinion. And then later they backed off that, and they're like, the SEC, that department has an opinion, but that's not the opinion of the SEC itself. And so they kept drawing all these weird-ass lines, saying yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, it's a security, that they intentionally left it vague. And
Everything
that's the thing.
is meant to be vague, though. And
that's the thing, is their job is literally to make clarity, and they spend all their time making things vague. That's just like if your job is to make people money, you spend all your time telling people,
well, okay,
defending why they're not making money.
I would love to take credit for saying this, but I can't. I saw it on a random Twitter post. And the guy made a really good argument, and it got me thinking. Regarding all of how you can't really legislate clearly, he said, the reason that I think that they're unclear is because there's constantly new geniuses coming up with different ways to scam people in there, securities and investments and everything else. So it has to be wide open so there's enough flexibility to get the people who craft new ways to fuck people over. So I sat and I thought about that. I said, okay, that's actually a halfway decent argument for that side of the coin. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But the problem is the way that they're doing it. I like to use this analogy because it works very well. If you're driving down the street and you see a policeman and you say, "Hey, Mr. Policeman, is it legal to park here?" The cop says, "Well, why don't you park there and find out?" That's their way of enforcing the laws. Sorry, not enforcing. That's their way of reining in, securities and stuff like that. They just won't tell you. They'll just, if you get it wrong, then you're in trouble. And if anything, if what you say is the best way to do it, then you're punishing the good guys so that you can catch bad guys.
Well, that happens with everything, though, Faz. It does. That happens with guns. That happens with banks. That happens with drugs, right? So
how does it happen with drugs?
There are people who legitimately need their pain pills, okay? But because the people that abuse them have taken it to the level, and the doctors who prescribed them shittily, the people who really need them now have an extraordinarily difficult time obtaining them. Even when I went through my surgery a couple years back in 2018, I had to get them 10 at a time. They make it extraordinarily inconvenient, and it creates a level of anxiety. I mean, I couldn't even get an exemption after surgery.
Oh, I've had a relative that needed a drug that could only get them one pill at a time, and you had to keep.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. So that's the same thing. Good people are punished because of the actions bad, and the laws don't protect that. The people still suffer, and the people still on the other side of the coin, they're still getting their drugs.
And so as a result, people are buying their medicines illegally, offline. On the internet somewhere.
And they're watered down, and who knows if the pill's actually what you're taking, and it goes with everything because you have arguments on every side of that. With the banks, it's the same way. Do as we say, not as we do. They can do things with money that we're not allowed to do. With guns, it's the same way. You regulate guns, take all the guns away from people, then only the criminals have guns. They're criminals for a reason. They don't follow the law.
Well,
the innocent people are now unarmed.
Wait. You're going on a bender there. You're specifying one specific solution. You're not specifying other possible solutions or anything. There's many ways to solve a problem, but when you give a black and white answer, when you give a black and white choice, you're gonna get a black and white answer. So you can't just make the gun thing about if you take them away. It's not
so much arguing guns. We're gonna talk about oops, got to put it in front of me because of the blur. The vape, right? My life is fucking hell now because of the laws they passed. I cannot order any of this stuff through the mail anymore. It used to be dirt cheap, and I could get it. I had a couple places online I would go to. I'd order it up. It would be here in 2 days. I'm a happy guy, and it's, dirt cheap. Because they stopped doing that, the Postal Service refuses to carry that now. It's all politics, right? They weren't getting their money from the cigarette companies anymore because everybody switched to vaping. So none of the carriers, FedEx, UPS, USPS, none of them will touch it. You can't mail it anymore. So now I have to go to a physical store where the prices are 3 to 4 times higher, and you don't have half the selection you used to be able to get. So I'm being punished because there were some bad actors out there that were selling these things to kids. So again, there's punishment on innocent people for the wrongdoing of a few.
Yeah,
and the laws didn't stop me from vaping.
Well, I'm trying to
laws
figure
don't
out.
Work.
I'm trying to find a parallel to the SEC here because that's gone a little bit far afield. The SEC doesn't ever give you a direction with that. Are you saying that the laws aren't giving you a proper direction? The laws are saying it's legal. You're just having a hard time finding people who sell it to you. That's different.
It's broad, right? So
I mean, if you possess the vape, that's okay. There's a big difference.
Right. So, but here's the thing, right? So all they had to do, if they were truly trying to stop that problem, they would just say, okay, the juice, you can't get your juice. That's what has the nicotine in it. I can't buy the base for this without any juice. I can't buy the tank. I can't buy the replacement coils or anything like that. That is also banned. Anything dealing that's associated with nicotine consumption is banned from being mailed. So
what about nicotine patches?
You can go right into Walmart and get those. See what I mean? They just want you smoking. They want their taxes. They couldn't figure out a way to tax this stuff because you can make it at home. You can't make cigarettes at home very easily.
Let's pull this back to crypto. It sounds like vape then is not covered by certain laws, and crypto is not covered by certain laws.
Well, we're talking about the vagueness and keeping it wide open instead of narrowing it down for clarity. This is part of the problem why crypto can't be narrowed down that far. It can't be a solid line that's black and white. It has to have some gray, yes. And that point that Twitter poster made was fantastic. Yeah, okay, so people come up with new scams all the time. The whole crypto thing is a scam, right? We all know, whether we want to admit it or not, 98% of the tokens out there are securities.
Well,
that's just
actually,
the way it is.
What I would rephrase that, and I would say we all know, or we all should know, that cryptos are speculative. Whether they're securities or not kind of almost doesn't matter, but they're a speculative asset. People are buying crypto because they're speculating on it. That's not a bad thing. People do that with stocks all the time. But speculation is used as a pejorative. But that's how the fucking money world works, including even with banks. Even with Forex, which is currency exchanges and stuff. Your glasses look really fucking weird.
I know. I'm looking for. I thought I saved it to my bookmarks and Twitter, but I don't think I did.
So the
It
feds
was-
don't like the speculation. They want things to be like roads with speed limit signs and stuff like that, but it's going to take a long time before you get that way with crypto.
So Gensler, this guy put this video together, and I can't find it, of course. And Gensler made it very clear with his statement. And he said, if it has a CEO, if there are people that are relied upon in order to make the network go, then it is absolutely a security. And then they showed clips of our buddy Vitalik Buterin, where he's standing in front of a group of the investors before
Yeah, I
it
saw
came
that.
out. Yeah. Oh, did you see that one too? That's the one I'm talking about. That's the one I can't find right now. And that in itself should be enough evidence to prove that ETH is a security.
Okay, so here's
And-
the question. Here's the question. Why do you think that Gensler is not saying that Ether is a security? Because
Because
you think
I
that it'd be a
think-
slam dunk, and he already thinks that most crypto is a security. This should be pretty easy for him to say, right?
It should, yeah. I don't want to speculate on that. I have a couple of guesses.
I just want to hear whether it's an I don't know or he has a plan. Do you think
No,
he's using
well-
it to shut down all of crypto or something?
It does confound me a little bit about why he goes after the people that he goes after and the order that he goes after them. He
Yes,
didn't
he
have
went
a
after
choice.
Kim Kardashian. He went after Kim Kardashian, but not the coin that she shilled.
Right. So he was forced into the XRP thing, right? Because the last act, what was his name? Hinman? Was that it who walked out? Literally, the last thing that he did was filed the suit, and then a week later he walked out of the
That's
building.
Jay Clayton, the head
Clayton,
of the SEC.
that was it.
Hinman is the guy who said that Ethereum
Yeah, those
was
are the
not a
emails.
security and
Yeah.
was a security, and then all of a sudden wasn't because it was
So-
sufficiently decentralized, meaning that there's no CEO, which means he's contradicting himself, which he said when he was teaching class at MIT a few years back. Gensler,
What-
by the way.
Well, so that whole XRP case was kind of forced on him. There wasn't much he could do. And this other stuff, he's selectively picking and choosing, and he is picking rather weird. And
I
don't
think
know.
he's
Yeah.
picking. I think he's picking to scare people because you don't sue Kim Kardashian because she just did something wrong. You're suing her because she is a public figure that a lot of people follow, and and everybody who follows her probably doesn't know anything about money. So he's hitting a certain demographic of people. All the like rich people, like Tim Draper and who's that Bitcoin guy? And all the
Ben,
no,
Bitboy
the
or
crazy
whatever?
one, the crazy guy.
there's lots of crazy ones out
But
there.
but there's let's just say Tim Draper and other people that are into crypto could give a shit whether Kim Kardashian gets sued or not. It's everybody else. It's people with $5 that he wants to not get into crypto. But that's
Yeah.
the last mile for crypto. That's what's going to make everybody with crypto rich is when your grandma is buying crypto. So that's who Kim Kardashian affects is your grandma. So that's why he went after her, but not the coin itself. And of course, his response to that question was, well, we made it obvious in the lawsuit with Kim Kardashian that the coin was a security. So the company should follow suit, which means now they have to chase down the company. So why not just chase down the company first and everything else would be moot, right? The coin would be gone.
Yeah, that's why
investors.
I can't even possibly speculate on why he chooses what he's going to go after next.
Oh, I'm happy to speculate.
I do think I think it's a double-edged sword with Coinbase too because it's a public company, and that's going to affect Wall Street very heavily. And Armstrong has come out, what was it, Wednesday? He came out with a statement and said if we don't get clarity very soon, then I'm packing up Coinbase and walking away. I'm going to go park this puppy somewhere where they're going to have clarity for me. He'll pay his exit tax and GTFO.
So Gensler implied so many false things in his testimony without actually lying. Yeah, there was a good one that he said something about the three failed banks, and he started talking about those failed banks, and then he started implicating things like, they were into crypto. Basically, right. with trying to trigger some people or somehow just implicate by saying, and then they had a bank president on later, or not even bank president, wasn't she a government official, who was like, yeah, these banks had no problem with crypto. It wasn't because of crypto why they failed. So you have the SEC, the SEC head, the guy who should know, making these, dog whistle kind of suggestions where the people in the know are trying to tell you the right thing, but it doesn't matter. The chairman, his words will get across a lot more.
Well, right during the House function, they introduced a bill to fire him, which is unprecedented as well. That was pretty powerful.
It's not going to.
And well, but still, it shows the people that they're not taking it lightly. I mean, it could be all just a dog and pony show. We don't know. We don't know how corrupt these people are on both sides, right? Whether it's Congress or Gensler or whoever. But I think another big problem is you have all of these commissioners and a chairman, right, for the SEC. Why is it that Gensler, I understand he's the chairperson, but shouldn't the SEC have some sort of ability to work in consensus with the rest of the commissioners so that they all decide together kind of how to move forward instead of just letting Gensler run rampant in this space? I mean, what's the point of Hester Pierce if Gensler can just do whatever the hell he wants?
I don't know. Now you're starting to get into what these people's jobs are actually, and I know nothing about how the SEC works internally. I mean, that's 10 times more speculative than what I can say about just crypto in general. I don't know. It sounds like if he can do it, he's doing it. If he's in charge, he's in charge.
Yeah, but he has to just GTFO. And speaking of GTFO, we heard that phrase today on Twitter, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we have a screenshot for that, don't we? This one, right?
They let Benefactor log into his Twitter today, which should be something. Now look, I posted this in CFA, and I stand behind it 1,000%. And I said this last week or the week before on Faz Radio that Gala Games, with their New Year promise that they were a new company going in a new direction, and as much as we still don't like it, we need to give them an opportunity. And they started to get some traction with that. And they started to at least shut me up, and even you up, and a lot of other people up, about how horrible they were doing. And they were starting to turn a leaf. They were engaging differently. And then today happens.
Okay, first of all, let's give some background on this tweet here, because this is stuff Benefactor has said. Benefactor is the CEO of Gala. This is what he said this on the Gala Discord several times. So why does it matter that he said it on Twitter?
Twitter is outside his little bubble of influence. He used to preach like a lot worse than this in the Gala Discord. But that was to the people that were just in the Discord. This being Twitter, it's a public platform with a lot of people who are way smarter as a collective than a private Discord channel, right? That's part one of this. Part two of this is his communications. We know he wasn't writing the last 4 months of communications because they were nice. So he had somebody doing that for him, and he was gaining some traction with getting people to listen to him again. And in one tweet 6 hours ago, he turned the whole company back into a clown show with losing respect for how that company operates. And they're back to the frat boy stuff again.
And how again?
I can read.
Again,
That's how I
he
came up with
he
that.
said this on Discord before. This is what I'm missing. How did this change? And you're just like, well, because he said it on Twitter now.
No,
Right?
well, that's part of it because he has a different audience on Twitter. Number one, but number two, he went back to it. This was supposed to be the new year, the new gala. We're not doing the stuff that we used to do. We're going to be a professional company. We're going to treat people respectfully, and the people over at on the gala server even started acting a lot nicer the last 4 months when they weren't treated like shit. And look what he does. He ruined 4 months of work that was put into turning gala around in one tweet.
I'm missing out. This is stuff he said before on the Gala Discord. How is this turning around anything? Because he would have said it. He says it quite often on the Gala Discord. Actually, was he shutting up and not saying this on the Gala Discord for the last 4 months?
No. He's been pleasant as a peach.
Oh, so the fact is he's talking honestly about what actually happens here.
He's going back to old Eric. Yeah, he was supposed to be helping turn a new leaf. And
Okay,
get a different image of the company.
What I'm trying to get. So you're saying old Eric is bad because old Eric is telling you things that will keep him from getting in trouble, and new Eric is good because new Eric sweeps things under the rugs or just prefers not to tell you things so that you can speculate at will and feel good about it. And you approve of new Eric because new Eric apparently says things the right way, right?
Him and the rest of the staff over there, even Brink, were approaching things a lot differently. And I think he's frustrated because they're not getting very much in sales. They're not doing as well, probably quick enough.
He said this is not ROI since 2020 when I got involved with Gala. So what's changed? What I want to know what in this last 4 months he did differently other than shut up. And apparently you want him to shut up because him saying things like this is bad for Gala. Sorry, is good for Gala how?
It isn't good for Gala.
I'm sorry, I got it reversed. So him shutting up and not reminding you of this reality is somehow good. That's
because people don't want to be treated like that, especially people who support the system shouldn't be talked to like that.
Talk to like what? Like this?
Like what's in that tweet and some of the other nonsense he's posted over the years.
If you want ROI, not going to happen. I don't see how this is being rude to anyone.
How is that
being honest?
It is. But then that doesn't help them either because they have on the front page of their website to come and earn. They market everything to play and earn, listen and earn, watch movies and earn.
But they're not telling you that you can earn on nodes. They're telling you you can earn when you play a game. And they even list that in there.
Yeah. And we all know there's no ROI
So wait. He's not saying so the game the website says you can play and earn like for spider tanks. You can kill some other tanks and get money. That's not nodes. That's not Gala. Now, NFTs can help you, right?
Yeah, how?
Right?
How can they help you?
They can help you in the fact that if you combine that with work that you do, then you can earn. However, him saying if you think we're working on your behalf to get you some ROI, you're mistaken. Makes a lot of sense to me. That's like a car company selling you a car, selling you a Corvette. With you thinking, I'm going to drive this off the lot and I'm going to get more money for it. No, you're going to have to work at it. You're going to have to rent out that car to somebody, which in real life you would. Or you'll have to keep it for a while to make, because it might be rare. That takes work as well. So if you bought a Spider Tank NFT, you will have to work in order to get money for it. Makes sense. That's what makes it not a security. But if you just buy it thinking you're going to make money, they're not going to help you make ROI.
So what is the purpose of paying the prices they're asking when they're telling you there's no ROI? Because people think they're gonna. Otherwise, they wouldn't buy them, which is what they're not doing. Right. Well, they're not buying, and they're going to really keep not buying when they see stuff like this.
Toilet paper if they think that it's going out of style. Come on, 2020 shows you that people will spend all sorts of money for shit that they don't need, or what? Buy a fucking bidet. You'll never need toilet paper again. What the fuck's wrong with you people?
I really want to get one of those, by the way.
Yes, you don't need toilet paper at all. But the whole point is everybody felt that they needed toilet paper and that it was running out, and that wasn't the case. And all they really did was overwhelm the distribution system, which raised the price of toilet paper. And so the same kind of shit's going on with NFTs for Gala. That's all. Is a new NFT comes out, they said there's going to be 12 of them, and so a bunch of people buy them because they're speculating, which is what people do on stocks and forex markets all the time. So I mean,
the only people getting ROI at this point are the people who were in your era.
Yeah, but you're still ignoring the subject where you're like, if Benefactor just shut the fuck up, then everything was fine. Then you approved of the company. But here he's reminding you,
making progress, right?
And all of a sudden they've turned a corner, and now everything's a clown show, as you put it.
They were running what seemed like a very professional organization. They put out a roadmap. They haven't hit their goals. They still haven't even hit the first quarter.
Well, judge them by the goals. Don't judge them by the tweets.
And okay, so if I come in here and talk about bidets and all that kind of stuff, you're just gonna say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say.
I'd say buy some toilet paper if you don't want to buy a bidet. I mean, there's both.
Okay, so people aren't going to want to buy into anything, even the playability of a game, if this is the type of attitude that's coming from the top of the organization.
I would suggest
they need to get more players. Do you think this tweet right here is going to get more players in the Gala ecosystem? That's what his job is, to get more people into the ecosystem.
No, I'd say I would think that'd be Bitbender's job, to be honest. But he's a marketing director, right?
No, he doesn't do marketing. He doesn't do anything.
Who's the marketing?
Remember, he's the president of blockchain, and when you ask him a question about a topic, he just fluffs it off and says, "Oh, I don't talk to that department."
So you're answering one complaint with another complaint, but we're still not getting to the purpose. So I would think it's the marketing director's.
I'm
the
giving
marketing
you the
director's
answers to your
job.
question.
It's the marketing director's job to do this kind of stuff. This guy is being a bad boy like Elon. Twitter has a marketing director too. It's probably not Elon. Elon gets in the way because he's just like other CEOs, certain other CEOs. He just likes to make waves, and that's what Eric's doing here. So I'm not gonna actually. I don't either approve or disapprove of this tweet. I'm just saying that doesn't change. That doesn't turn it into a clown show when he makes this tweet. But somehow you seem to think that they're less professional now because he told you a legal truth. I did want to get, by the way, into Gala V2, but we'll get there in a second because I have some ideas.
Well, we gotta. I thought we were gonna talk about that tomorrow. No.
Oh yeah, we could do that. That's right. I can't talk about too much shit because then you won't want to come see tomorrow's show.
So we all understand it's not about ROI. And by looking at our wallets, we know it's definitely not ROI. Okay? Everybody knows that. As you've always said, we're betting. If you stay in the ecosystem, you're betting that what you have in your hand is going to give you a utility worth what you paid for it, and the freedom, okay, the freedom to sell that and potentially get something back for it. That's how they justify their pricing by people still buying what they're selling. right?
People buy Star Wars action figures because because one, some people want to play
Here
with
we
them,
go with the
and
Star
two,
Wars action figures
damn right,
again.
and two, because they think they'll make money with it. That's why they buy them. That's why you have the black collection and all that. That's why every product out there has like some. Thank you very much. That's why each product has like an elite version of something, because they think that you're going to buy it because of whatever. I went to buy a razor the other day because I do shave. And there's like an elite version of the razor I wanted to buy. It's like, what the hell? Why would I want the fucking elite chrome version of a razor? It's just plastic covered by shiny silver, rather than plastic covered by like orange or pink that they have. Fine, I'll buy a fucking pink razor. It's just needed to do one thing. But people will pay more for things that they think are more rare. Why? Beats me. Because they're stupid.
Well, and you know, that's where this is going to go. Ultimately, though, that's what it boils down to, is this tweet is not going to get people interested in wanting to come to get to the Gala platform. It's not.
I'll
no matter
agree
how
with
you look at it.
I'll agree with that. That maybe he should be stopping. He should not be taking his cues from Elon.
Yeah, and we have another thread, which is the thread that starts here, the Encore Crypto. This guy has been an exposer, he calls himself, of Gala for a long time. And there's his thread here.
Is this you doing this?
No, not me.
Okay.
There's another thread where it's just this thread, and it goes on for miles. And he just absolutely...
Okay, we can't read any of that, producer.
No, she's showing...
the thread.
Talking about it being a mile long, yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
And you can... I think if you scrolled, there's a whole nother page of thread that's that long. This guy spent hours putting this together. And it's all of the shitty things that Gala has done to the community over the course of the last few years. This isn't just Benefactor shit. This is like, he's done anti-Gala videos for years. His name is Jay something or other. He posts his own videos as links in there. And it, you know, other people in this thread, not the Encore Crypto one, but if you go to Benefactor's post and then you look at the whole thread with people commenting, there are people that post, they've written letters to the SEC trying to get Gala in trouble. And they posted those letters for people to read. It's not far down. It's probably just a couple scrolls down that first letter. It was wild.
So that's interesting. Is the SEC likely to act upon a letter without any evidence? Or...
Depends on how many they get.
You are so dumb.
They tagged the SEC. There it is. There's the first one. And it depends on the volume as well.
Can you make that bigger, Ms. Producer? Here's my complaint to keep the Benefactor dreaming. What? I want to see what he's writing there. I'm writing... Slow down. Go back up. I'm writing to express my deep concern... Hey, now. about the activities of Gala Games and why I believe that this is a Ponzi scam. Okay. No?
So... While you're reading,
it might have been better that they not post that, because now Gala Games can propose, can build a defense. The lawyers are probably looking at this saying, "Oh, well, let's add something in our defense for when the SEC sues us." You got to remember how a lot of businessmen, a lot of rich businessmen, actually do things. They just take risks and ride them for as long as they can until they get shut down. And their goal is to have made enough money to start up another company by the time the first one gets shut down. So I don't know, if you started with, $1 million and you grow it to $1 billion, you can cash that out while the company's going on, and then when that company gets shut down, then you'll have $2 million or $500 million to start up your second company. Rinse and repeat. So this is what I think a lot of people don't get that these companies do. No. They'll just recycle themselves.
Yeah, and Eric is not going to have success doing that after what he's done at Gala. They're going to see his name, and now they're not going to want to go anywhere near it because of the way he's steered this ship.
You could just be an investor in another product. You could be a VC, venture capitalist in something else.
I mean, I think he's ruined his name in this industry by acting the way that he has. That other thread, that guy's thread that we looked at that is 8 miles long, that is the anti-Gala guy. In there is every little scandal that went on, and what was done, what was said. There's quotes there, and our friend Jesse is highlighted in a lot of those. Speaking out on public Twitter.
Well, Jesse has recently decided to stop commenting on
everything. Yeah. Well, but I'm saying it's stuff that they grabbed his screenshots and put those in there as well and used him as a leverage point. They used all the music people, Bucks and all those. It was a bad idea to put that on Twitter because there's such a thing as good negative press, and that was a mistake negative press, and this was a mistake negative press, no doubt. It would not surprise me if that tweet ends up getting deleted somewhere. And I feel bad for the supporters of Gala who have to endure this. I feel bad even for Brink. I mean, he's going to take the brunt of this. He's going to pop into gold, and they're just going to rip him a new one. And,
if that's his job, then that's his job.
Well, his name is getting dragged right through this, too. I mean, what does that do to his name in the industry? Because he's associated with it, and he's got to be the apologist. He's got to be the Faz of Gala from the inside and do all the apologizing.
I'm not apologizing for Gala when I say things. I'm just trying to look at your arguments. When you tell me about a specific argument about how the company has turned into a clown show because of one tweet, I'm going after you, not Gala. It kind of doesn't even matter what he's
it's going back down those roads from 22, end of 21 to 22.
I think you should judge him. If you wanted to call them a clown show because of their performance, which we have been keeping track of, then I would totally agree with you. If you're going to call them a clown show because of a tweet, I disagree. Show your work.
That comment is a lie.
What comment is a lie?
That we're judging them on their production because they haven't produced shit.
Well, then judge them on that. Yeah, I agree. Judge them on that. I'll call them a clown show for that reason. I'm not going to call them a clown show because of that tweet. I'm just trying to keep you honest. I'm not trying to defend Gala here.
It's not about keeping me honest. The facts are there. What he did is detrimental. If you worked for a company and you went and posted something like that on the social media for any other company, you would be gone the next day.
Unless your name was Elon.
Because that's harmful to the company. It's harmful to the brand. It's harmful to every employee that works there. Every employee has to point and say, that's my boss.
Harm really depends upon who's in charge of the company. So I disagree with that. I mean, any new company that does something a new, different way is technically harmful to companies because they're doing something that no other company would do. So that's kind of a BS argument, in my opinion.
It's not helping them get people onboarding.
Well, how is Elon drumming up business for Twitter by posting the crazy ass shit that he posts all the time?
It's crazy, not rude.
Oh, Elon is not known for being rude. Is that what you're saying?
Not that I've seen. I haven't seen
Oh,
anything rude.
so you think that Elon's not rude? Okay,
I have not seen anything rude posted towards the Twitter people, no.
toward the Twitter people. Okay,
Right.
that's a
Because we're talking
challenge,
about
people.
who he's pointing this towards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that
I
maybe
haven't.
you should read more about what Elon posts. How about we go to Elon's Twitter, shall we? Or is that getting too far afield now?
If you're trying to prove a point, prove it. Show me something
Elon,
rude then.
that's
Because
Twitter.
I've
Something
never
I
seen
can think
anything
of off
rude.
the top of my head, which is in there somewhere, was when he took a Twitter employee to task over the work they did, and it turned over what was that? That was went off on like handicapped people and one
No,
of
no,
his
no,
own
no.
employees were
You're messing
handicapped.
that all up. No,
Okay.
you're messing that all up. So what had happened is the guy in question went on Twitter and he said, I busted my ass for 3 years and I did a bunch of things and this is the thanks I get and yada yada yada. And so Elon popped on. He said, okay, tell me what you did. What did you accomplish in the 11 years or 12 years the guy had worked there? What did you do? And the guy says, well, I did this, I did this, I did this, and this started this thread. And so Elon said, well, yes, we got rid of that department because it was garbage. And that department was causing problems with this, that, and the other. And yeah, you deserve to be fired. It turned out that the guy was disabled. And he made a comment about just go work somewhere else. If you're so good at what you do, you're sitting here telling me you're so good at what you do. Go work somewhere else. And he's like, I can't. I'm disabled. So it was. I wouldn't call it rude. I would call it, the guy called out Elon basically by saying I was fired for no reason, and so Elon gave him a platform to talk about that. And the funny part was, and it wasn't rude, was he fired the person who was in charge of the building security cards, and the security card reader went down and nobody else knew how to do it and they couldn't get in the building. That made me laugh really hard.
So that was rude. That was just stupid.
That was just stupid. Well, he called her. He's like, how did we get in the building? She's like, fuck you, you fired me. Figure it out.
And all he needs to say is, I have billions of dollars. I can make your life hell. Come on in.
But find something rude, because I've never seen anything rude. I've never seen anything like what Benefactor posted.
We'll revisit that. Give me till tomorrow.
Great.
I'm looking on his Twitter right now, and all I see is SpaceX stuff. He has multiple
that
companies.
launch. The boring company he has too. So, we all have our limits. My limit was met a long time ago, and I just look in from the outside now. I'm not someone who is a fanboy like there are still a lot of fanboys for Gala. I want to see what they're going to do. If they produce something, I'll jump back into the ecosystem if it makes sense. But at this point, and especially now, if they're going to go back to this type of mentality, moving the company forward, I don't want to have anything to do with that. I'll just sit back and watch what happens. And if something good happens, I'll jump on board.
So
play a
my
game or something.
thoughts, okay, this is my opinion about all crypto. If you think that you buying crypto is going to manipulate the crypto, don't buy it. If you think you're going to get part of the company, don't buy it, because the companies can't even say that. I'm going to sneeze here. I better.
Well, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the attitude of the person who's running the show. That's what this is about. It's not about, everybody out there knows that it is an investment, but we're not calling it an investment, wink wink. And everybody knows that people play these games, which are not like AAA quality like they've wanted to produce. They play them in order to make money, because as soon as the money was taken away, the people stopped playing the games. That happened with Townstar. That happened with Spider Tanks. Now you saw that they just injected new tokenomics, a new tokenomics
Hey,
policy.
no. Shh, we're going to talk about that tomorrow.
We are.
You just said.
Everybody already knows that. But the players are starting to show up again once they put more money in there. They have to pay people to play their games. Otherwise, nobody wants to play their games. What does that tell you? Common sense now. Come on.
I think it depends on how your business model is set up. I'm curious. I'd like to know more about their business model, about how things get put in the games. Is it just them? Do they allow other people to put things in the games? Are they both developing, and maintaining the games? Because my understanding is Spider Tanks is made by a separate company. So the question is, who's injecting more stuff into the Spider Tanks game? The Spider Tanks company or Gala Games? Is Gala just a publisher, which is what the Spider Tanks people told us when we interviewed them, or are they a gatekeeper? In which case, if they're a gatekeeper, then what you're saying makes sense. If they're just a publisher, it doesn't.
Details. We'll get into the details tomorrow night. But what I will say tonight is that the way that they injected far more tokens into the system, and at the same time raised the amounts that Gala and Game Media get from that. Their cut went up, apparently, of what they get out of that pool. So it's we'll give you more, but we're taking more too kind of situation, is what it looks like. That's the graphs that are, I think they're posted in CFA. Because someone had pointed that out yesterday, day before, maybe. Tuesday, Wednesday. Something along those lines. So there's a lot of factors going here, but they also released Gen 2 tanks for Spider Tanks. And they want people to have more money as well. More tokens, so that they will buy more tanks.
Are you saying that they adjusted tokenomics, or they're just giving away bigger prizes?
No, they adjusted the tokenomics, how you earn. Bitbender just posted a big thing on that.
So my understanding is that the games themselves come out with what they're going to sell, and Gala Games comes up with the tokenomics because they're kind of publishing it on their platform. Is Spider Tanks available on Steam or anything?
I don't play that game. I have no idea. So I have a Titan tank. I had to buy a Titan tank. It has my name.
But you don't play that.
So
you don't play the
game. I played it when we did game nights. I played it and I had fun, but it's not something I would want to put $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 into. No way.
Is that what you pay now if you were going to buy tanks?
I don't know what the new tanks just dropped.
No. I'd say
so I don't know what
since
their
cost. You played.
Since I played, I don't know, because
there was a
screenshot. There was a screenshot, and they lower the asking Gala price after it says sold out, right? So, if there were somebody posted a screenshot, and most of them were like 20 and 30,000 Gala. They were pretty expensive.
Let's see. Clicking buy now on the new tanks, and I see a new tank here for, that's a gun. Where's a tank?
They're sold out.
Sold out. Okay, so it wouldn't even be on the list there? So you're making the claim. You're making the claim that whatever they sold is that they changed the prices of it right now, so it doesn't matter. Okay,
well,
so
no,
I'm looking at
when they
the
sell
mall
out,
legendary
the
body
price
for
is the price.
624 silk.
When they sell out, the picture of it is still there with the sold out sign on it, and the price that they charge is always different from what they actually charged. I don't know if anybody else has picked up on that.
So what I'm seeing is the mall legendary body generation 2, which I would assume is a new tank, because a tank is made up of multiple parts, is 624 silk. Let's see, how much silk did I get yesterday? I think I got like 6 silk yesterday for playing. Yeah.
So only 100 days of playing, you can then afford a tank. So that's
another tank.
3.5
I only
months.
played one game. So I did the bare minimum. Had I played more games, I would have more silk. If I had a node, which I do, spider tank node, and if I had spider tank land and all that stuff, you could earn more money.
Are you sure land's earning?
Am I sure? I'm getting silk for the land too.
Because I know a while back, I told you I don't follow it that closely. I didn't think land was earning money yet.
I thought they changed that to where you're getting more now. They just put out some new numbers.
I don't know.
What, 2 days ago?
I really don't. My research.
So basically, you don't play the game.
That is for
you don't show. You don't play the game, and you don't follow the recent changes they have, and yet you're commenting on things being too expensive. So I just pulled up a price out of my ass.
I can read screenshots. Go to CFA.
So how much are the
they
tanks
posted
now?
them there.
How much are the tanks?
Somebody posted them. Go to CFA.
So I see 624 silk. I see 624 silk for a tank body.
Gallus stuff would be my first guess. Search for has image. Message contains an image.
So do you think that they're messing up the spider tank economy now, or getting better?
They are gonna end up inflating it, and it's gonna end up, I think, worse.
Why do I get the sense that you're repeating the prevailing opinion, or a opinion of people who are complaining on Discord, but you don't have some sort of thorough analysis of what's really going on?
I'm not spending my precious hours analyzing something like.
Okay, so you're being
like
very
that.
topical. Just making sure.
I am. I can see people when they post things, and I can read what they say. I'll read through it, sure.
So
but I'm not going to sit for hours.
So when one odd dude complains about something and it sounds pretty good, then you're fine with that.
No.
Okay.
Something wrong.
I mean, I just want to. I want to believe, man. I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know where I saw
why
the
behind the
screenshot.
why. You know what that means.
Yeah, I profess
All right.
that a lot.
So what else do we have going on besides spider tanks? Are we running out of stuff here? Because we're almost at about an hour.
Well, we were going to do a more in-depth on that tomorrow, so I'll do a little bit of research before the show, so I make sure I'm not talking out of my ass when we
I want to make
get
sure,
into
and
it.
my homework is to find rude tweets from Elon, which I Googled while we were talking, and I found that most of those rude tweets have been deleted.
Oh, of course
So I
they
can't-
were.
Of course.
I
So
don't
yeah,
think he
people have
deletes his tweets.
people have written entire articles on rude Elon tweets.
Okay.
So the question, but you actually were couching what you said. I'll throw you a bone. You're couching what you said as in rude to Twitter employees.
Well, to anyone really, to people
he's rude.
that
He's rude as fuck to people.
he doesn't.
He's made misogynistic comments. I mean, you name it. There's one about he's made a few misogynistic comments on women alone that he's deleted. I think one was this state has MIT, this state has UCLA, the other one has TITS. I mean, that could be considered rude to some people. I'm sure you'd be fine with it, though.
I don't think that's rude. No.
Well, I think that it's a rude
My
statement coming from a CEO. At least he's not talking about ROI, right?
Was that made when he was at Twitter? That's embarrassing to the Tesla employees, I'm sure. Yeah.
I think probably.
It's very juvenile.
I would say anybody should type in rude Elon tweets in Google right now. I'm going to type it with you. Rude Elon tweets. And let's see what comes up. The worst Elon Musk tweets ranked. A reminder of some of the terrible things that Elon Musk has said. That's number 2. Let's see what Vanity Fair says about it. You can't see this because I'm not sharing my screen. Misogynistic is right in there. Pronouns suck. Using Twitter to engage in securities fraud. Let's see. Predicting in March, well, that's not rude. Predicting in March 19th, 2020, the U.S. was going to have close to 0 new cases of COVID by the end of April. People in 2020 saying people worried about coronavirus were dumb. I'm not sure if that was rude or just stupid. Tweeting misogynistic things at Senator Elizabeth Warren. Well, she is a pain in the ass, but I wouldn't want to be misogynistic.
I would agree with you. That's some of that stuff is detrimental to the company. Yes.
Writing to Bernie Sanders, who thinks the richest man in the world should pay more in taxes. He says, "I keep forgetting that you're still alive." That one's kind of funny. Tweeting dumb sexist jokes. Tweeting a photo of Bill Gates and writing, "In case you need to lose a boner fast." Yeah, he tweets lots of rude shit. Now, of course, if
that depends. If you're a snowflake, you're going to be offended by something like that.
You've just qualified it. You have just qualified it and said only for those who aren't a snowflake, and you get to define who a snowflake is because you're from a part of the country where maybe you're fine with that, and other people other places. Oh, here's one. But reportedly exploding at executives and lower-ranking workers alike. Let's look up those tweets here because I'm gonna click on that one.
All right, you look there.
He has fits of rage basically where he just goes off on. Well, I remember right after he acquired Twitter, he started just going off on employees that worked there. Fired lots of people who disagreed with him. I'm going through the list here. Announcing Tesla's headquarters would move to Texas 1 month after the state effectively banned all abortions. So
he left California. He was tired of their nonsense.
Paying a private investigator $50,000 to dig up dirt on a cave diver he called Pedo Guy. Running a company, Tesla, that employees have called a modern-day sweatshop. I don't know if that's a tweet though.
He's been known to work people like Gates and Jobs did. I mean, work them till their bones show in their fingers.
That actually seems to be somewhat common to companies that make a lot of money. So
of course, you have people working 20 hours a day.
Well, I'm certainly going to say that he's good at making money. However, like I said, he's rude. And you said he wasn't. He has a lot of things that he has said and done that is rude. So I'd say you kind of lost on that one, sir. He seems to
I don't know.
He seems to say a number of things against women for some reason. But of course, if you're a snowflake, right? It's all about you being a snowflake.
No,
you can answer any of those things by saying if you're a snowflake,
acquiesced that point to you that it is detrimental to his company. Yes, when he acts like that,
then I'm done.
Absolutely, it is, and it surprises me that he wasn't asked to leave
his own company,
some of his stuff.
He owns 51% of the stock, doesn't he? He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's the same as Benefactor, right?
That's it. Okay, getting back to Benefactor. So Elon Musk seems to be doing quite well with this company, no matter how rude he's being, because he's got a cult of personality. And I think Benefactor, for better or for worse, is happy to be a personality like that, and he happens to have a company that makes a fair amount of money. I hear that he does work his employees pretty hard. He seems to have a lot of the same aspects of Elon, Steve Jobs, and other asinine.
He's a
CEOs.
wannabe. He's acting like that on purpose, not because of who he is. Because he was a different person when he was over at Zynga. He was a different person.
He was called Darth Vader over at Zynga. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about to the community. He might have worked his people hard. I want you to point.
Remember, you were talking about him being rude to his own employees. I wanted at first
to employees and people. I don't know about the rude to employees.
Guy was known as Darth Vader.
When I did research, Carl, he did not pop for any of this kind of behavior before he got over here to Gala.
I would suggest that he didn't run Zynga, but he was an executive there, and he couldn't act with as much autonomy over there. So no, you're probably not going to see him. I think he was a co-founder. Oh, whatever the case is, he's not the founder, and so he likely had far less autonomy than he has here. This is his company; he can do whatever the hell he wants. And I don't even know about a Zynga Discord or a Zynga community. So I mean, it sounds like you're making comparisons that are increasingly harder to even prove. Okay, Zoro Gala says it's not about what the message clarifies about ROI, it's the way he talks. Yeah, and that's what we're getting at, is the way he talks. He's an asshole. I've said from the very beginning in 2020 when I started buying Gala that Eric's an asshole. And despite him being an asshole, I think he has the qualities and the qualifications to make a lot of money. That's why I speculated on Gala. Does that mean that I'm depending on Gala being a security? Possibly.
You're depending on Gala to do the work so you make money, yes.
Yes and no.
No. Why hold your tokens? If you don't think they're going to go up,
well, wait a minute.
You wouldn't hold them.
Wait a minute. No. You're using one kind of broad thing to try and explain another broad thing. No, I'm not depending upon him personally. I'm expecting him to put something out there that the gamers themselves are going to be getting on board, thus causing Gala to be more rare. And that's my speculation. Does that mean that it's a security? Well, according to other definitions of securities, maybe not. The question is whether
the work
of
it's others to expect a profit.
Remember, you're mentioning. Remember, you're mentioning one leg. You're not mentioning all of the legs of the Howey test.
All of the legs of the Howey test apply.
Well,
we've argued that on this show 20
times. Is Ethereum a security?
I think it is. Yes.
Yes, but does the SEC think that? That's the important part. So does the SEC think that Gala is a security? We don't know. We don't even know if Ethereum's a security. If we did, then we could tell you if Gala's a security because we could just use the same rules. But they're not doing that. So it's not about what you think. It's not about what you think. It's about what the SEC thinks. And he's going to keep making money until the SEC shuts them down.
That's right. And it could be. He was baiting it before. So it could be he's just being a...
So Jay Soto makes an important point. He says Elon cares about humanity. Let's see, they're at different levels. Elon cares about humanity. Actually, I'd make the argument that Eric Schreiermeyer also cares about humanity because he's done a fair amount of things with charities. The question is, how visible is that stuff, and how much money do they each have? What percentage of the company are they putting toward it? Elon, I think, has a certain vision of humanity. The guy has a fucking rocket company, and he was wanting to fly to Mars and restart humanity. He also does. He also believes that the Earth is not currently overpopulated, and that we need to have more babies, not less. Yes, probably because he wants to send them all to Mars, and you're going to go through a number of humans to get settled on Mars.
The world population is declining rather rapidly, especially when the boomers go too. The boomers, as they go 6 feet down.
You mean it's declining? It's just acceleration. The world population wasn't even 1 billion like a couple hundred years ago, and now it's up to like 7 billion, and it's going up and up and up. What's declining is the rate of acceleration. Well, you can look that up. It's very easy. Okay,
yes.
I'm gonna look it up. Here I go. You look it up.
Mm-hmm. It's going
World
down.
Population chart. Oh, it's going down. What was it? Okay, let's see. We're at 8 billion people. We're at 8 billion people. Okay.
They're offering, and I'll pull up that article because I saw that one recently. I'll bet you I can find that one. It's getting detrimental in the Asian area, continent.
Okay, the population by 2048 is predicted to be 9 billion. It's currently 8 billion. What about going up? Are you not understanding? It was 2 billion back in 1927. So between 1927 and now, we're up to 8 billion. And we're going to be 9 billion in 2048. So that's going up. What you mean is the rate of acceleration. See, you're making all these. What you're really doing is you're making all these claims to refute things that I'm saying about Elon, which is to refute other things that you've said about Elon. You're building this house of cards, any of which they just don't work. Elon's an asshole. He knows how to make money. Eric Schreiermeyer's an asshole. He knows how to make money. It's that simple. So if you want to bet on Gala or bet on Elon, do it. You'll make a lot of money. Is it a security? Not until the SEC says it is. Until then, bet away. By the way, this is not advice. Not investing advice.
Don't listen to that. He's giving you all the advice in the world. He told you just to go invest in Elon and Eric Schreiermeyer's
I said that they know how to make money. They know how to make money.
Right. So take that to the bank, and if you lose money, sue them.
Good luck with that.
You know I jest. But in jokes aside, I do think that if this was just a mistake, that it was said in the heat of the moment after 4 whiskeys.
Oh, I think he'll do it again.
They have some more damage control to get back into. They've been damage control free for like 4 months. They made it 4 whole months. Now they're going to have to do that again. They've managed to
maybe their damage control has actually been working for the last 4 months. I don't think Gala is failing.
All the silliness of missing their first quarter goals. They brushed that off and swept it under the carpet.
Gala is not failing because he makes mean tweets. They're failing, if you'd like to say that, because they're not meeting their goals. But even then, they're still making a shitload of money. Have you caught Nate's last podcast, Forging Crypto's latest podcast?
He said what?
Where he was meeting with his brothers who just released some music NFTs on Gala Music.
I caught most of that one. Yeah.
And they made a lot of money off that drop. So, he must know how to make money if he's making those guys some money. So what the fuck are you trying to say here? Trying to say your buddies your buddies' brothers and stuff aren't making money off Gala?
They're not his brothers. That's the name of the game, the name of the band.
I thought 2 of them were his brothers. I could swear they were. Oh, you think he just called them his brothers?
You just roasted me a few minutes ago for skimming headlines, and you don't even.
I actually watched it. I watched his podcast actually, and I could swear he said that two of them there were his siblings.
I don't know about that.
We'll have to see. Anyway, those guys just posted something on Gala Music, and they made a lot of money off their drop. So they must not be doing, Gala must be doing okay.
Well, they're doing okay because they raked in the profits for years before. So they're doing okay. They're bleeding quickly, though. We know that by following their blockchain wallets. They're selling.
I would
and
suggest
they would not be selling at 4 cents if they weren't broke.
You forget how much they acquired that stuff for to begin with. I know I bought my Gala at 0.000 something.
They were given them. They didn't acquire them. They didn't pay for them.
Well, their tokenomics had them being given Gala, earned. They earn it from themselves.
They have what, 200 billion or something like that. Somebody posted.
No idea. So you're trying to say the very fact that they're selling Gala means that they're screwed.
They would not be selling every other month for the past, would that be 6 months? They've been selling about 150 million Gala every other month.
You know, and I would bet if the market goes down, they'd actually be selling more Gala because they have employees. And if the market went up, they'd be selling less Gala because the Gala would be earning them more money. It's that fucking simple. They use it for fucking paying for their operations.
Right. Why should they, if they were earning money, they wouldn't need to sell Gala.
But that's how they earn money. Is people buy NFTs with Gala. They got to sell them somewhere. I mean, what are you not getting here?
They are not selling that amount of 150 million every 6 or 8 weeks. They're not selling that much.
I don't know. I can't tell you. I know. Now, of course, the next thing you're going to say is they're selling it from the very accounts that they're awarded. And then I just use one word as a response: arbitrage. You don't have to sell it out of the same account that you got the money from.
No, I'm not. I wasn't even going there.
Good. But, I went there for you.
The burn that they were supposed to make as people bought stuff in the store, of course, all the smart people reverse engineered that.
No, we're staying away from Gala V2. Shh. We're staying away from that until tomorrow. We're not going to have anything to talk about, dude.
I know we're going long anyway. We're 15 minutes past our hour.
We
hard stop.
We better hard stop this one. So because you're going to start talking more about Gala V2, and I have a lot of things to say about that. And they might not even disagree with yours. We might be in agreement, I think.
We'll find out tomorrow, won't we?
Yes.
Same bat time, same bat channel here for Faz
Radio.
I
haven't been gaining weight.
Faz and Titan will clue you in with opinions, conjecture, arguments,
and outright bullshit.
And we'll talk some more about fiber and bidets.